computer. Hi, everyone. It's Thursday morning. It is our last class this week before our little extra break over the weekend. No class tomorrow morning, but we'll resume as normal on Monday. Today we are doing barre, and we are going to start on the floor. We're going to be working to try and strengthen our awareness of leg alignment and clean up the muscles that provide the rotation at the hip, right, and their connection to core, right. You don't need to know all of that, but you do want to have a ball and a mat. Yeah, I'll shift that in a moment. And then when you've gathered your things, you can also have a flex band and some dumbbells for later. When you've gathered your things, go ahead and lie back. We are going to start with bent knees. Then we'll do a little bit of breath work and probably connection into feet before we move more into the theme of the day. So you lie back, your head is comfortable. You can have a ball or not between the inner thighs. We'll get plenty of that shortly. So if you want to leave it off to the side, it's not a big deal. The big deal is to breathe in a relaxed way and to let gravity help sort out your posture. So everyone's neutral position is very individual. In general, we want a curve or a space under the cervical spine and the lumbar spine, neck and low back. An outward curve under the ribs that we rest on, as well as under the back of the pelvis and under the head, same. We breathe in and allow an openness to spread across the top of the chest and the length of the ribs. And then we breathe out and feel the muscles deep in the lower part of the belly under the surface, providing the strength that supports the exhale as well as our posture. In through the nose and out through the mouth is our usual pattern. Opening across the shoulders and the hips, lengthening through the crown and grounding through the bottom of the pelvis, your sitting bones. If you haven't yet, and if you're using your ball, you can add a light squeeze to the exhale phase of the breath and begin to tune in to the connection that relates the muscles above pelvic floor, your lower abs and transversus, to the muscles below pelvic floor, inner thighs specifically, that help connect you to your feet, which propel you around. 2 more of these breaths in and out. And then we'll continue with some imprint and release. Inhaling in anticipation of your imprint. And then as you exhale and connect into stability and length, make your imprint by contracting the low abs into a deep scoop. Release imprint as you inhale. And repeat it as you exhale. Using your own breath timing, right? You cue yourself through the different movements, layering them over top of the core support, squeezing the ball as you exhale, connecting lower extremities to lower abs, returning to neutral as you inhale, preserving pelvic floor in between those 2 muscle groups, right? The whole focus of our efforts in that central location. Do 1 more imprint and release. And when you've returned to neutral, pause and extend the arms forward to the ceiling. We're going to do some reaches back that eventually end in circles. So you might want to check your space around just so you're not going to knock over water bottles or crash into glasses or whatever. When you've made that space with the arms extended forward, shift the shoulders forward and back toward the front of the ribs, the back of the ribs, and find that magic spot in between. Extend through the elbows, activating your triceps, and exhale in preparation for movement. On the inhale, as you keep your Kegel, reach the arms back. On your exhale, as you focus on length and squeeze the ball, bring the arms forward to where you started from. Right, we do a couple more of these, reaching back on the inhale, opening up the side ribs, the back of the armpit, returning on the exhale, keeping openness in the chest. One more. Now, as you return from this one, listen, bring the arms all the way down to your hips on the ground. And on your inhale, circle the arms open along the floor to your overhead position. Exhale, pull them all the way forward and down towards your hips and continue in circles a total of 4 times. We end the last one with the arms down by the hips. And from that point, reverse the direction of your circling. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way back overhead. And exhale, rotating in the shoulders, sweeping the arms down towards your sides. Through all of this, feel the clear passage of breath through the bottom of the ribs without any displacement in your posture in that area. You'll end with the arms down by the sides. Good. And then let's go ahead and put the ball back between the knees. Because we want to feel strong support of lower abs for the work that we're doing with the hips, we're going to exhale also and make an imprint, connecting inner thighs to lower abs, and then settling the ribs, the head, and the shoulders without pressing them back. We take a breath, and on the exhale, extend through one knee. So you get one leg stretched out long. You're still holding the ball between your inner thighs, and the foot is lifted from the floor. We're going to try and keep the knees even with each other. And we're going to bend and stretch the lifted knee. Inhale, tap the toes down, and exhale, stretch it. Do 5, please. And you're applying your breath to core, your imprint to inner thighs, and stabilizing not only your spine, but your hip. The last couple times you extend, feel the alignment of the thigh bone and the shin bones, and then keep them aligned as you keep the leg extended. Flex the foot and get a connection down the back of the thigh. And then on your exhale, turn laterally from the hip. Inhale, return through center, parallel, and keep going. I'd like you to do 8 of these and feel that you're truly rolling the femur in the hip using the muscles under the back of the hip rather than straining muscles elsewhere. Moving through your set of 8, I'll let you count your own. You feel the harmonious movement of the lower leg with the thigh. When you've done 8 and have returned to parallel, go ahead and point your foot and just once tap the toes down. Inhale, and exhale, extend the leg one more time. Now we're going to do the internal rotation. Flex the foot again, please. And 8 times rotate internally. Exhale, inhale. It is a more subtle movement. You'll feel it in the inner thighs and lower abs, of course, but feel also the glute muscle that surrounds the outer part of the hip, as well as the external muscle on the top of your thigh in front. Through it all, your posture is steady, your core support is constant. And when you've done your last one, bring the leg to parallel, finally lowering the foot to the floor. Put the ball off to the side for a moment and stretch the non-working leg down the mat. We're going to continue with the same leg. Finally, hip release. We're going to go through, this is our last thing on this side. Inhale, open the knee out to the side, and exhale, slide the leg down. Exhale, roll inward and pull up. We do 4. And I feel like I forgot to tell you to be in neutral, but with this other leg stretched, most often that's necessary. Neutral posture, 4 circles. When you've done your 4th one, we rotate inward. Inhale, stretching down. Exhale, turn outward and pull up. Conscious of what it feels like to rotate the leg, and as you stretch it, maintain the alignment of thigh bone to shin bones. When you've done your last one, right, you can hug your knees to your chest, rearrange the hips, and we just have the other side to go, and then we'll get up off the ground. So you give yourself a squeeze. It's brief, just in a way that recenters the hips and the shoulders. And when you're ready, you put your feet to the ground, keeping the knees bent. We're going to put the ball back between the knees or inner thighs at this point. And ready to move on, exhale, make your imprint, squeezing the ball lightly, connecting lower abs to inner thighs. Inhale, find pelvic floor. And exhale, extend the other leg so the foot rises from the mat. We do our toe taps, 5 of them. Keep the foot pointed and Kegel. Inhale, lower the toes to ground. Exhale, contract the quads in an even way to straighten the leg. And feel that even work, that smooth alignment of the thigh through the shin. This is super important, especially if you've got flexibility or a history of injury in the knee. The last time you extend this leg, you keep that smooth engagement through the balance of the quads and flex the foot, pulling the toes up. And now 8 times, rotate laterally from the hip on the exhale, spinning the thigh bone inside the hip with the muscles that pass under the back and bottom of the glutes. And don't be surprised if one femur turns more naturally than the other one. Super common, I would even say normal. When you've done your 8th one, point the foot and just once tap the toes down. Inhale, Kegel. Exhale, squeeze the ball, lower abs, balance the pelvis, stretch the leg evenly through the knee, flex the foot, and 8 times rotate inward. Keeping inner thighs and lower abs, keeping posture. Feel the muscles outside the glutes, the hips, the outer hip, and at the top of the outer thigh. Keep stretching the knee, feeling the tracking of upper and lower sections of the leg. And when you've done your last one, you'll repoint the foot, tap the toe down. And then put the ball off to the side, return to neutral spine. The other leg stretches down the mat and we prepare for hip release. Ready to move on. Inhale, bent knee drops out to the side. The leg stretches, feel the alignment here and lateral. Rotate inward on the exhale, feel that alignment too, and then bend the knee. We do 4. And when you finish 4 in that direction, follow up finally with the opposite direction, the inward rotation, the stretch down into alignment 4 times. With neutral posture, continue to feel the core and the support of the abdominal muscles for the weight of the leg. And when you've done your last one, you can give your knees one more hug to your chest or sway the knees side to side, both in the same direction. We are going to be getting up off of the floor. And when you're ready to do that, put your feet down, roll off to the side and clear your mat away. And we come to standing. In standing, you'll want your ball. And we're going to do our squats here. Ball again between the inner thighs and knees, posture neutral throughout. So a little bit more practice in connecting core and abdominal support into neutral as we move the hips. We want to track the legs through the knees in the parallel way. And because we're bearing weight on our feet and ankles, you want to feel that tracking down into ground, right? Not restricting or resisting the movement at the ankles. And I know you can't see my head, but I want you to see this line through the lower spine and ribs, through the hips, the inner thighs. Before we start with our knee bends or our squats, I want you to exhale and lightly squeeze the ball. Release the lower back, but feel a stability coming from the inside of the pelvis up through the ribs. Do that one more time in preparation for our squats. And then on the next inhale, begin to bend your knees. And as the knees bend, allow your hips to go back, your chest to move forward. Exhale, stretch your legs. Continue, inhale, bending the knees. Keep your Kegel. Relax the low back. Stretch the sitting bones. And exhale, squeeze the inner thighs. Connect upward into the crown, downward into the feet. Continue through a set of 8, please. Good, nice breath. When you finish your last one, you'll stand upright, and as we all catch up with each other, exhale, squeeze the ball and breathe. And firm that connection that aligns the upper and lower segments of your legs. We're going to go into releve. You may want to put your hands on your bar. Focusing on the alignment and the continuity of core down through the inner thighs into the big toes, we will exhale, press into the space between first and second toes in the ball of the feet, lifting the heels, and then inhale, reach the heels down without lifting the toes. Exhale, we squeeze the ball. We use our lower abs to support posture as we work more focused in our feet in a more focused way. Inhale, Kegel, float the heels down. Please do 8. Good, you guys. I see you doing this without hands on the bar. That's awesome. Remember to relax your neck as you do that. Now, once you've lowered from the last one, we pause as well. We're going to do work in that releve position at the top. Together as a class, we're going to exhale and lift the heels one more time. Feeling our weight centered in the space between the first 2 toes and connecting upward into a smooth line through the crown. Keep the heels lifted, and on your inhale breath, bend the knees, tracking them forward toward that spot between the first 2 toes. On your exhale, straighten the legs. Feel the balance of the quads working in an even way to support the extension of the knees. Inhale, bend a little bit. And exhale, focusing on even support, not only through each individual leg, but across the 2 sides. Do 8, please. And again, do it without stiffening the neck or the shoulders. Try not to stare laser beams into the wall. Beautiful, guys. And when you've straightened your legs for the last time, then inhale, lower the heels, and exhale, return immediately to your squat. Once you're here, now we breathe in this position. We have a neutral spine, and we're getting ready to extend not only the shoulders, but the upper ribs in conjunction with the shoulders. We're steady through the low back. We're steady in the placement of the bottom of the ribs. Palms turn forward. Exhale once, open the chest. On your inhale, sweep the arms upward, allowing the upper ribs to spread and stretch. And then on the exhale, turn the palms down. And we're going to flex through that same area, moving the hands behind and curving gently here, not dropping the head. Inhale, arms, upper back extension. Exhale, sweeping the palms back. Upper back flexion. Do a total of 6. Become aware of your posture in the upper back. It's an easy area of the body to kind of shut off. A lot going on up here. You don't pay attention to what's going on here. When you've done your last one, return the arms to just hanging in space, and we pulse downward 6 times. Exhale, relaxing in the ankles, allowing the tracking of the knees into the center of the foot. Inhale up a little bit. Exhale, long and neutral through the waistline. Exhale, spreading through the sitting bones. We have 3 more. Last one is our step into our 4-stage movement. That was stage 1. On the inhale breath, lift your heels up. Posture returns to vertical. On the exhale breath, extend through the knees and the hips, finding the complete balance of the quads and the action of the glutes. Lower your heels, inhale. Exhale, bend into the knees. Kegel, inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lengthening, press into the spot between the first 2 toes, reach through your crown, and inhale, lower. 6 of these, please. That's it, guys. Apply our warm-up, or what you learned in the warm-up, to how you're moving right now. And when you've completed your last one, we do a series of quicker releves. And so by quicker, I mean up and down all on one breath. We've got the balance in the knees, the balance and support of the hips, the lower abs. Now tone the inner thighs, connect it to first 2 toes. And on the inhale, go up and down. On the exhale, go up and down. Halfway through. 5 more. And the last time you rise, you'll stay up. You'll have exhaled to do that. Now, staying vertical through the spine on the inhale, we resume our 4-stage movement. Keep squeezing the ball, focusing on the spot between the first 2 toes as you kegel. And then as you exhale, plant the heels, changing the angle of the torso. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, squeeze the ball, push down through first 2 toes, rise. Inhale, keep tracking the knees as you bend, sliding the spine down. Exhale, reach into ground, preserve the shoulders and the ribs. And then inhale, stretch. Do 4 more. We got it. When you've done your last one, put the ball off to the side, please. Don't ditch it, but get it out between the inner thighs. And go ahead and make a lunge stretch. Doesn't matter which leg you put back first, but have, of course, the one leg forward into your lunge and the other leg back. It should feel nice for your calves. Okay. Support the line through the lower abs and lightly squeeze the glutes to help open the front of the hip. We are going to do a side stretch at this point, so I'll change my camera. Hips are steady. We've got the support of this back leg. Left or front hand can be on the thigh or on your bar. Lift the other arm up. And then on an exhale, bend to the side in the direction of the front leg. Stretching under the armpit, under the side ribs. Hold here, breathe in and breathe out. And then on the next inhale, begin to round forward, gently flexing upper spine, middle back. And exhale, step the foot forward, ready for other leg to lunge back. In that lunge, you line it up. You get the chain in the back of your back leg and in the lower abs. Breathing, feel that nice release into the calf and the front of the ankle. And then we inhale and lift the same arm as the back leg up. And exhale, bend to the other side. Full breath cycle here. And on your next inhale, gently round it forward, flexing in the upper spine. Exhale as you roll up, step the back foot forward. We are going to pause here and do a little bit of work for the shoulders before continuing with the legs. Just some mild work. You're going to want your flex band. And we're going to wrap it in a light way around the back of the arms, back of the hands. These are your hands. Okay. So here we have the band between the thumb and the forefinger. We're going to dip the hands down, dive them in, and bring them back up. So the band passes across the back of the hand, and you can control the grip with your thumb and forefinger. You should not need any more strength than that. This is a subtle movement, my friends. Okay. Parallel arms. You are standing in parallel as well. I'm just staying low so you can see the band. We'll exhale and contract the muscles between the shoulder blades, moving the shoulder blades toward each other and spreading the front of the shoulders apart. Inhale, release. This too is a subtle movement. Exhale, contract between or across the shoulder blades and release. Do that 8 times, and don't do it in a way that causes compression in the spine in that segment or compression in the neck, just in a way that provides a sense of opening in the front and support down below the shoulder blades and back. When you've done your last one, we'll do 8. I think I said that. Put your flex band off to the side for a moment. Roll the shoulders, and without the benefit of the flex band, have the ability to find the placement of the shoulders and the support on the back of the body. Connect it to your core, and then we're going to tilt forward or lean forward into our plank against our bar, possibly lower against a chair, whatever surface you want to use. So we focus on a lot of different things when we do plank. Today, we're going to focus on the shoulders. Of course, we're breathing. We've got our core associations here. We've got our legs long and strong. With the shoulders steady, we're going to inhale and bend the elbows slightly. And then exhale, keeping the width across the top of the chest, lightly contract the bottom of the shoulder blades as you find length up through your spine. We just hold here and breathe. Now, eventually, you want to relax the whole boundary of the shoulder proper. And by that, I mean the articulation of your arm bone with the trunk, right? We want that to be soft. We want the neck to be soft. We want the muscles in the arms to work. We have 2 more breaths in and out here, and then we're going to turn this into push-ups. Feel that steadiness not only in the position of your shoulders, but in their connection to your core. And then on the next inhale breath with your Kegel, bend your elbows a little bit more, releasing width and length through the upper body, and exhale, press long. Go for a set of 8 to 10. So arms have their own alignment, right? Like the legs do too. As you straighten the elbows, different to the legs, there is a spiral at the elbow joint into the forearm. Right. So we're able to keep the top of the shoulders a little bit more open or laterally rotated. And we have that appropriate spiral down into the bones of the forearm, and then finally alignment into the wrists. When you've done your last one, you might hold it for a moment, feeling that alignment without any binding in the wrist or the elbow or the shoulder, and then come off of your wall. Hold hands together with yourself. We make a little figure 8. So it's really great to have mobile shoulders, wrists, and elbows, usually, except when that mobility starts to get a little bit strained in certain ranges. Go ahead and reverse it. So we're trying to relieve the strain of all the parts of the wrists and the elbows. Go ahead and shake out the hands and grab your dumbbells, please. Now, you don't have to use dumbbells. And in fact, if you want to stand on your flex band and use it for biceps curls, you can do that. I'll stand briefly. We want parallel legs, and you can even bend and stretch the legs. Right? Oh, there's that alignment again. I can find the floor. Take the grounding upward through the crown, Kegel, and inhale. On your exhale breath, bend your elbows. Inhale, straighten. So this is a different alignment, especially through the lower arm. We have a little bit greater lateral rotation in the shoulders with the inside of the elbows forward rather than facing each other. We still want to have the ability to track with the forearms here. So inside of the wrists are forward as well. We're doing a set of 10. I think we've got 4 more to do. Rest the shoulders on the top of the ribs without gripping them into the base of your skull or the bottom of the neck. I'm going to do 1 more of these guys. And then pause. Now you can continue to use what you're using, flex band or weight. So I'm going to turn a little sideways. We're going to rotate this position of the arms inward. So you do have a medial rotation at the shoulders, and the forearms are still tracking with them rather than spiraling at this point. We're going to exhale and open the chest, pulling the length of the arms back. Inhale and release. This is for your triceps, it's for the back of the shoulders in general. We do 10. Feel the muscles not only below and between the shoulder blades, but down the outside of the shoulder blades, your lats. I'm going to do 5 more. As you keep the elbows straight and extend the shoulders, you will of necessity engage the triceps. 1 or 2 more. And then go ahead and either put your weights down or step out of your flex band. Stand for a moment, letting the shoulders hang equally. Feel the connection upward into the ribs and downward through the hips into the legs. And we're going to move into some lateral rotation work for the hips and the lower extremities. When you prepare for that, know that this lateral rotation occurs under the back of the hip rather than adding extra work for the glutes. So I like to do 1 leg at a time sometimes. Tracking the thigh with the shin, turn outward. Realize you can't see my feet, but turn outward from the hip and then put the foot down. Everything tracking along, including the support of the quads. We can do the same little exercise with the other leg. We can feel balance here in parallel, retain that, turn from the hip, and then heels together. Arms can hang by your sides unless you need the support of the bar. Prepare with an exhale, reaching down equally into both heels, up through the hips, up through the crown, and then inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, reach equally into both heels. and straighten the legs. Do 8 of these. I have noticed often that our dominant leg becomes even more prominent in rotations. So notice if you're able to move through both legs at an equal rate, at an equal time, and apply equal strength to the movement. 4 more, please. Look for that tracking support through the knee with the equal engagement of the quads. And the last time you bend the knees, stay in the plie position. Now attend to the shoulders. Don't be tempted to look down and drop forward. We're going to pulse down 6 times. Exhale, lower the hips, spreading inner thighs, reaching the knees toward the center of the toes. Up a little bit, just an inch or 2. Exhale, pulse down, relaxing the ankles. Up a little, and so forth. At the bottom of our last pulse downward, we'll hold and then take it into our 4 stages. On the inhale, lift the heels, pressing into the spot between the first and second toes. And on the exhale, engage the quads, straighten the knees, use your glutes to extend the hips, lengthening up and down. Inhale, lower the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, resuming the constant movement. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, heels land, legs are firm, hips are extended. Continue through a set of 6. When you extend the legs and come to the top of your releve position, be careful not to stiffen the upper back in an effort to keep the upper body tracking. Instead, connect through the bottom of the ribs and carry the head upward. When you've lowered from your last one, pause for a moment, standing without losing focus. And we're going to do our set of releves, the slow version. Maybe with the hands on the bar, certainly with the spine vertically stacked. When you're ready to go on, exhale, press through first and second toes, lift the heels. And as you kegel and inhale, bring the heels down, bringing inner thighs together. Up on the exhale. And down on the inhale, we do a set of 8. Make sure that you don't feel just like a sort of collection of different parts. But while you remain aware of the different sections of your body, feel like they're all one thing. The last time you releve, we'll use it right away as a stepping off point into our reversed 4-stage movement. So we just lifted on the exhale. Now inhale with heels lifted, bend the knees, feel them arrowing apart toward the center of the foot. Stay vertical, exhale, lower your heels. And then inhale, stretch, reaching through your heels as you gather inner thighs. 6, please. Exhale up. Inhale, bend the knees, preserving continuity. Exhale, press the heels down, mobile through your ankles. Inhale, stretch, supported by pelvic floor. Continue. And through it all, keep reminding yourself, no drama up here in the head and the shoulders. Soft and open in the middle of the chest. When you've returned from your last one, pause for a moment. We're almost done with lateral rotation, but not yet. We're going to exhale and lift the heels one last time. And then shuffle your heels together. Take a breath cycle. We're going to do our pulses at the top here as well. Inhale, bend the knees a little bit. You'll have a tiny opening between the legs, and then exhale, stretch. 8 of these, a little opening and then a stretch, press into your toes. We are completing that stretch on the exhale. So not only feeling it in the hips and knees and feet, but in the stretch of your core up and down. Now, after your last one, we're all moving at slightly different rates. You can shuffle your feet apart, lower with integrity as you place the heels on the ground, and then release the lateral rotation. Widen your stance, and you can bend forward and put your hands on the bar. We'll do a little stretch here. Right? So stretching not only for the back of the hips and the sides of the waist, but for the underside of the shoulders as well. Keep the neck out of it in a good way. Yeah, we still want to keep connected through the crown, but we don't want the neck to, in any sense, support the stretch of the shoulders. All right, that support is lower and deeper in the core. Resting your hands on your bar, you'll exhale, slowly bend the knees. It is a wide parallel stance. And then inhale, come up a little bit, not straightening the legs, just lifting a little bit, taking the stretch out of the shoulders. Exhale, again, stretching under the shoulders. And then inhale up a little bit. One more time, exhale, stretching under the shoulders. And then hands to your thighs. Inhale, extending through the entire length of the spine, not just the upper back. And then exhale from bottom to top, rounding through the entire length of your spine. Repeating that 2 more times. Inhale. The whole front of the body opening, equal through the waist. And exhale. Rounding. One more, please. Inhale into extension. And exhale into rounding. In the rounded position, shuffle your feet underneath you and then roll up to stand. Good. Grab your flex band again. And we'll do a couple more things, not only for the shoulders, but for the upper obliques specifically, using the flex band. Right. So, and if it's helpful to have a ball between the knees, you can always use it here. The legs are going to be active, but not moving, if you get my meaning. We'll take our flex band, and again, you want it to be relative. Don't sit on your flex band. We want it to be relatively light. We're going to put it behind the back and pass it under the shoulders. So in a perfect world, that flex band passes under the bottom angles or tips of the shoulder blades, and also, not coincidentally, across the band of muscles that we want to use to support the movement of the arms and the carriage of the head. We're going to do a little bit of lateral rotation, and you'll see that the flex band is between my thumb and forefinger, and my shoulders ideally are neutral on the ribs without pressing down or lifting up. There we go. All right. We'll simply exhale and laterally rotate both shoulders, tracking the forearms with the upper arms, and then inhale, return. This is not a lot of effort in terms of pulling on the flex band. It's mostly a tracking exercise, which will pertain to the following movement. Do this 2 more times, finding your ability to rotate in your shoulders without displacing them. And the last time you rotate open, stay here. Again, we have a relatively light hold. Tracking from here, now exhale, extend the arms wide. And inhale, bend. Exhale, reach wide, supporting under the shoulders. And inhale, bend. We're going to do 6. So with this next one, we're halfway through. As you extend the arms, make space in the top of the shoulders for that little bit of rotation in the top of your arm bone. A little bit up and a little bit down within the shoulder. And the last time you open the arms to the side, leave them there. Inhale, and now exhale, bring the arms forward. Inhale, open wide. Bring the arms forward, keeping the light elevation of the chest and the connection into core. We only do 4 of these. And last one, leave the arms forward and flip the palms up, rotating internally a little bit through the shoulders and spiraling internally a lot through the forearms. Palms flipped up. Inhale, bend the elbows, tracking them back toward the sides of the ribs. And then exhale, press forward. 6, please. Last couple. And once you've returned from your last one, put the flex band down. Okay, roll the shoulders a couple of times. And turn your head. It's pretty unconstructed, but you do the thing you need to do. And locate your dumbbells. You won't need them immediately, and you probably want them up on something rather than down on the floor if you have that option. And we're going to return to the lateral rotation of the thighs at the hips. And of course, we're tracking through the lower extremities. So I like to go ahead and find the lateral rotation first. And then you can either tendu the legs into second position, or you can just step them wide. It feels a little awkward, but keep the knees straight as you arrange into that wider position, just so you can continue to feel the balance and continuity into the lower legs, ankles, and feet. Our spine stays vertical, and we start with just some second position plies. Arms can hang by your sides or be lightly on your bar. Exhale, reach from your heels into your crown, big triangle moving upward. And then inhale, bend into your knees. Track them toward the center of the foot without tightening the front of your ankle. And then exhale, stretch your legs. Please do 6. I love that some of you are adding port de bras.
I would if I knew how.
Then let's do it together. We'll inhale, lift the arms in front. That's a valid comment. And exhale, open the arms wide. Inhale, arms come down and lift to the front. And exhale, open wide. If you have another one in you, go ahead and let's do the port de bras a final time. And then lower the arms to your sides. Walk your heels inward, walk your toes inward, spiral your heels outward, and bend into the knees, allowing your spine to round. Kind of shimmy your shoulders a little bit. Shake out your arms. Roll back up, establishing length and neutral spine. Pardon me, move your toes outward a little bit, firming the connection into lower legs, bring the heels inward. There's our rotators. And then exhale this time as you bend into the knees. Now, you adjust the width and height of the stance for your comfort. You never want to get your pelvis below the knees, right? That's too much. But if a wider base feels better for you in some sense, use it. Keep the integrity of the legs. Put your hands behind your head, interlacing your fingers. We're going to twist side to side across the bottom of the ribs without moving anything below. Exhaling to turn from the waist. And inhale, return through center. Alternate the sides. Do a total of 6 in each direction as you hold the integrity of the lower body and the stance into your ground. That's it, guys. Feel the stretch of the shoulders and the isolation of the obliques. Beautiful. Last couple of rounds. And when you've done your last one, open the arms to the side, lower them, bring them up in front. And as you exhale and straighten the legs, open arms wide. Beautiful. Okay. Lower your arms down. Do that little thing again where we bring the toes in a little bit, spiral the heels outward a little bit, bend into the knees. You can shimmy the shoulders again if you like, or you can shift a little side to side. All right. We have another thing in second position. So when you're ready, roll up. Move the toes outward, beginning the lateral rotation. Adjust your stance as necessary. And from under the back of the hips, bring the heels into line. Bend a little and then refirm the alignment and connection between upper and lower legs. Find a dumbbell perhaps, or maybe just put your right hand behind your head. Left hand is going to be on the belly. And we do have that inequality here. We're going to exhale and bend into the knees. Right. And then bring the right hand behind the head. Inhale, bend to the left, moving again at the waist. Exhale, contract the stretched side to bring you back to center. Now your lower hand doesn't have to be on your pelvis, but I find it helpful in terms of stabilizing and being aware of whether I'm moving a lot in my center. A total of 6, please. Exercising the right side of the waist. Allow stretch and then feel strength. And when you've done your last one, you'll bring the arm down. Leave both of your arms down. Straighten your legs briefly. In the straightening of the legs, feel the alignment of the knees. And right away, we'll exhale and return to plie for the last time. Yeah. Right, you can guess where this is going. Right hand is down, left hand is up without the dumbbell or with. And then on your inhale, you're going to bend to the right from the waist. That's hard to say. Exhale, straighten back up.
This is wrong.
There we go. Just don't do the same side twice. Six total, please. And when you've done the last one, right, arm goes down, shoulders roll, put your dumbbell down, walk, heel toe your feet in, right, stretch your legs, and take a moment just to breathe with your legs underneath you. Okay. So you might want to locate maybe a yoga block or a little stool or a couch. You can use the floor too, but we're going to bend down and pick something up from the floor and reach it overhead, right? You can do that with just your arm, or you can do that with a dumbbell, or you can pick some other object. I could pick up my shoe, right? The idea is that we have a parallel but slightly wider stance. We might have a little turnout through the legs. That depends kind of on the structure of your hips and if that's really a better place for you to line up in. And in some cases, that's true. We're going to bend forward. And actually, if you're going to pick up a weight, put it in your non-dominant hand, whichever hand you don't write with. We're going to do that side first and start by bending at the hips, putting the object down, maybe on a sofa, maybe on a chair, maybe on the floor. And on the exhale, bringing it up and pressing it overhead. Bend and bring it down. I'll shift my camera. And then exhale, pick it up and reach it overhead. down, and then up. Releasing into the chain of action or effort, and then pushing and reaching through it. Aim for 6 to 8 on this one side, and then we'll change sides. Let this be an exercise for your core, for the back of your hips, for the tracking of your knees, and for the stretch of your shoulder. And when you've done the last one, pause in standing. And if you're using a dumbbell or object in your hand, put it in the other side now. Stand for a moment. You might even bend and stretch the legs, regain that feeling of alignment there, the groundedness of the feet. And when you're ready to begin, bend forward, inhale, put the object on the ground, and exhale, reach up with that single arm as you stretch your legs, forward and down, and then up. 6 to 8 of these guys. That's it. When you've done your last one, lower your weight. I'll just wait for folks to finish. Yeah, nice job. All right, moving into our cool down phase of the workout. You're gonna shuffle your feet a little bit more underneath you. Yeah, so we had a slightly wider, maybe a little bit rotated stance. We bring the feet underneath. And we're going to start a walking motion with the legs, Prepare with an exhale. And then on the inhale breath, pick up one foot. You'll shift over onto one leg so the foot can come up. Exhale, plant through the foot and take your weight to that side so that you can inhale and lift the other one. Walking across the sides here. You decide how far you want to pick up the leg that's lifting. Don't pick it up so far that we again get the stiffening here. All right, just find the limit of where you can go and retain a natural sort of feeling in the upper body. Beautiful, guys. Please do 3 more across the sides. Mm-hmm. Stand for a moment. Exhale. Adding to the legs, we're going to inhale, pick up the foot, touch it with the opposite hand, and exhale, stretch the arm up as we put the leg down. Opposite side, reaching across, touching, and stretching up.
Oh, what do I do?
Almost there. This is for your nervous system.
Yeah.
Do 1 more across the sides. I know, and this can be like, patting your head and rubbing your stomach. And when you've got it, there we go. Lower your hands and stand a final time. Breathe in and out. And we're going to just do a roll down and up a couple of times, a little shake out through the shoulders, and then we'll be done. Nice workout today. So steady in your legs. If you feel like a little bit wider stance, that's fine. Just preserve the parallel line of the lower extremities. Roll the shoulders back, soften the knees a little bit. And on the inhale breath, feel the base of your skull lifting a little bit as the chin tilts down slightly. Continue bending forward, allowing gravity to assist you, a vertebra at a time through the upper body, As you start to get into the middle and bottom of the ribs, let your arms hang forward, of course. Relax your toes and bend deeply enough that you can continue rolling down through the bottom parts of your spine. When you're in that position, feel like you're draped over some supportive curved surface. And inhale, just shimmy your shoulders a little bit. Exhale. Nod your head yes. And again, exhale, sigh. Turn your head no. And then take a breath and push through your feet. Exhale, roll up. We're going to do one more of those. Come to full standing in between though. And then turn the palms forward. Lift the top ribs upward, a little extension through upper back. Return to neutral and repeat one more time. Adaptable in the legs, tilting the chin to lengthen the back of the neck, softening forward, allowing the arms to hang in gravity. As you roll down, remain steady over your feet. Bending the knees deeply enough that you can let your chest or belly rest toward your thighs. We're going to hold opposite elbows in the hands and sway a little to the left and the right, or the right and the left. Move your head. You can shift your shoulders and then return to center one last time. You might need to shuffle your feet a little bit more inward so that they're the spacing of your hips now. Put your hands to your thighs or on your lap and exhale, begin to push through your arms to help you roll up, identifying the muscles at the bottom of the shoulder blades, widening the muscles at the top of the ribs. Feel the pelvis coming underneath you, providing a platform of support for the ribs as the legs straighten, the chest and shoulders stack. And finally, the head. Release your arms to your sides. Inhale and exhale. And that's it this morning. We're done, guys. Nice workout. I have hurricane hair now too, Kathy. And turn the recording off and see you next week.